Morgan Stanley is predicting Tesla only has $86 million in free cash flow in 2024. And as you can see by the overall pattern of this chart, it's quite the anomaly. And AJ, a former investment analyst at Goldman Sachs, he's also a Tesla investor. He doesn't understand where all this pessimism is coming from. He says, I've been reviewing Tesla's global sales across all major markets, and it doesn't look bad at all. I haven't finished my analysis, but I can already see that Tesla will substantially outperform in Q1 versus Q1 last year and will likely deliver double-digit year-on-year growth despite a production halt in Berlin. Analysts are expecting about 15% year-on-year growth. And here's some of AJ's evidence. China is nearly 10,000 ahead of last year. US is flat in the first 2 months. Europe in the first month is about 6K ahead in terms of deliveries. However, European countries which already reported February showed significant year-on-year growth. The only exception is Germany, and of course Berlin is down. And after all the negativity in recent days, we're actually starting to see maybe a good setup for deliveries when they are announced on April 2nd. Now, you might agree with AJ that, yeah, sure, year over year is going to be stronger, but you might be upset that quarter over quarter will be significantly down, meaning the Q1 deliveries that are about to be announced may not be as strong as the quarter previously, Q4 2023, when Tesla delivered 484,000 vehicles, and this quarter they're expected to deliver around 430,000. But it's probably time we understand that Tesla is not a small player anymore. Tesla is now exposed to the same seasonality as the big boys. During Tesla's early year explosive growth, seasonality didn't matter that much because they were experiencing such rapid growth. So this quarter over quarter perspective, I don't know why they're giving it to Tesla when they don't give it to companies like Ford and GM. Over the last 10 years, according to Grok, Ford has delivered 30% more cars in Q4 than in Q1. But surely as the next gen vehicle starts to ramp next year, we will start to see explosive growth again at Tesla quarter over quarter. Now, another disappointment for Tesla investors over the last few months has been a slower rollout of FSD version 12 than expected. And AJ's response to this is that it comes down to Tesla being compute limited, not data limited. He says more V12 users would increase Tesla's ability to source more edge case data, but for what? Keep in mind, Tesla can run a shadow mode and source data without a user running FSD. And the reasons for what is because what do you do with data that you can't process? Nothing. As V12 is still in the refinement process, more V12 users would only increase the risk of mishaps in exchange for basically no benefit. Remember, it's possible Tesla's going to have to take on the liability once we get to that level 4, level 5 robotaxi honeymoon heaven that we all are hoping for. And for these above reasons, I think Tesla has more downside than upside from increasing the V12 user fleet at present. This is, of course, not until they get more compute. He goes on and says, I think this will change quickly as V12 reduces safety critical interventions, creating indeed a larger need for Tesla to source more edge cases data. But again, I think this is largely driven by Tesla's available compute increase. And as Elon confirmed just the other day, as he's been saying for ages now, training compute is currently Tesla's limiting factor, but that issue is being resolved fast. And this was in a response to James Dauma, who had just experienced V12 in person for the first time. And this is what James Dauma had to say about it. If you don't know James, he works in the AI field. He's greatly respected among Tesla investors. His experience with V12 said that it accurately mimics human driving behaviors, and it startled him. Tesla's ability to capture the good behaviors without the bad ones is better than I expected for such an early release. This is truly impressive. It's so good that I wonder if the autopilot team might not shift development approach. Up until now, big improvements have required big changes, but the range of behaviors that are being effectively implemented with end-to-end path planning and control suggests to me that they can get the rest of the way to better than human solely on top of more and better data and training. And as we know, we need more compute to process more data and get better training. And here is that infamous photo you guys have probably seen 1,000 times by now, Tesla's projected compute power over time. And time really is the key word because Elon has talked in the past about it being difficult for Tesla to bring these massive NVIDIA chip clusters online for whatever reason. But with time, Tesla gets more compute online and then more data to train full self-driving on. And what's really cool is the things and the stories we're starting to see happen on V12 as more and more users are getting it. Here's a really cool story. After consistently having the car either park itself into a stall or pull out to the curb of the roadway, I experienced this. I set the destination to a random alley in downtown Sacramento. The car pulls into the alley, driving slow, and based on my previous experiences earlier in the drive, it appeared to be looking for a spot. Seems like it couldn't find one it could fit into. So instead of stopping in the middle of the roadway, which is how V11 would have done, the car rerouted itself around the block and back into the alley. When it gets back into the alley, it immediately parks itself into a parking stall instead of proceeding all the way to the destination. This is exactly what I would have done if I was driving. After seeing there was no parking spots the first time, I would have driven around the block and parked in the first available spot I could find. Whether or not this reasoning actually happened within the software is up for debate, but based on the previous 5 or so tests I have performed before this, it really does seem like it was looking for a spot to park. You guys got to agree though, that was truly insane. And this is just artificial intelligence in the real world. And I know that V12 has made mistakes too, and maybe I'm not showing that in this video, but it's really cool to see the vehicle be able to park itself like that, behave just like a human. That's very important for a robotaxi future. So to conclude this video, I want you guys to ask yourself the following question. And I think it's an important question to ask as NVIDIA continues to skyrocket. I mean, I was teaching grade 11 the other day, and my grade 11 boys kept talking about how high NVIDIA stock is going to go. Everybody's talking about it like they were talking about Tesla in 2020. Anyways, the question is, which company has a better prospect of doubling from here? Or which company will hit first the following numbers? NVIDIA doubling to 4.4 trillion or Tesla doubling to 1.1 trillion? I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. But 1.1 trillion for Tesla wouldn't even be an all-time high for Tesla. So I guess there's that. And I've made this argument before on my channel, and it's that the reason NVIDIA is making so much money is because they have customers who are paying them a lot of money. And why does NVIDIA have customers? Well, it's because they are offering a product that those customers see value in, like Tesla and like Meta or whichever company that's buying NVIDIA's GPUs. They're not buying NVIDIA's GPUs for no reason. They're buying them to train their AI projects. And at some point, these customers expect to see a return on their investment. And if they don't, they will stop buying NVIDIA GPUs. So pretty much all of these major companies, NVIDIA included, are depending and expecting AGI to happen. And it's very possible that Tesla and their fleet of robot cars and humanoid robots will be the biggest winner when AGI is solved. And as a Tesla investor, it's starting to feel more and more like everything depends on that. But lucky for us, every big tech company seems bought into an AGI future as suggested by the demand for NVIDIA GPUs. So maybe we're not that crazy after all in believing that all of this is going to happen, because it seems right now like everyone believes it's going to happen.